Hey guys, James here again. This is going to be what if Naruto was born with Sage Mode or born with active Sage Mode. So in this what if, basically, Naruto would do, you're right, he'd be born in Sage Mode. Now let's say some BS happened, Minato's fighting Kurama, we're trying to push off Kurama's whole, let's say when Kurama stepped down on Minato and Kushina, Minato's actually able to push back the claw a bit, but using his left bit of chakra, is able to use the Reaper Death Seal to seal away Kurama inside Naruto, half of it at least. And Minato's nature energy leaving his body. Minato's nature energy would find a new vessel in Naruto. So, just Naruto being closest being, the sage energy would go inside Naruto. And it wouldn't really make him turn to stone, but instead it would give him a very frog-like appearance. So, yeah, at least facially, he has a frog-like appearance. Eventually, Naruto, by the time he's 3 years old, actually able to kind of just tone it down a bit to the point where his eyes look frog-like, but still his face can lag in between frog-like and human-like. So that makes people fear Naruto more, thinking he's a literal demon. Now, eventually in the academy, Naruto doesn't really focus on he doesn't focus on any other jutsu besides making sure he can control the power that messes with his physical appearance. So with this, Naruto actually does end up learning a lot about taijutsu, because does tell Naruto this is an ancient power, not ancient, but a power that not many people will be able to possess ever. Still, it's pretty impressive. I have to pause real quick. So, Naruto in the academy mainly focuses on controlling his chakra, and due to Naruto basically, a lot of the chakra mainly consists of nature energy abilities, which he's actually able to control a lot easier because his whole physical appearance and power he uses is based off nature energy. So it's actually pretty easy to control, a lot easier than it is for regular chakra. So, also, in the academy, it's a lot harder for people to beat Naruto. The only thing that's easy to beat him is intelligence. In taijutsu, his strength and speed are so overwhelming that you just give up because your body is tired or it hurts. Sasuke would try to do Lance Barrage, Naruto's actually able to evade a lot of the attacks or punch Sasuke and Sasuke will block, but it just has such force that it makes Sasuke submit out of pain. So Naruto doesn't have any taijutsu technique, but he's so strong that he overwhelms his foes in one blow. So he's given basically an A in taijutsu. For ninjutsu, he can do the whole frog tongue thing, just basically slam it down or slash, and then just extend it to grab things. So this is a pretty useful jutsu, so he gets an S in that. For genjutsu, he gets basically like a F. But basically just taijutsu and ninjutsu are where he excels. And because, Hiruzen does know this as senjutsu, Naruto gets an additional S rank. And Jiraiya is aware of Naruto's, he was born with Sage Mode. He kind of questions how this is possible, but basically he just has to keep an eye on Naruto occasionally. And so I said he'll teach Naruto to master it, when he feels that Naruto's ready. So now Naruto eventually end up just coming a genin around the proper time. Around the same time he does in canon, but people do know why. Sasuke actually respects Naruto because all anyone sees Naruto do is train. So yeah, because he is training a bit in taijutsu because he has overwhelming strength but no technique whatsoever. So he's at least a basic in taijutsu, average, I guess, for a genin. For ninjutsu, he does excel despite only having one jutsu, but excel that jutsu to be a complete mastered one. So with this, we basically just go to Naruto, who would yes, with Mizuki does convince Naruto to seal the scroll's healing, but Mizuki is basically threatening to kill Iruka. Naruto punches him in the back of the head full force and basically shatters Mizuki's skull with that one punch. So yeah, Naruto killed Mizuki by accident, not realizing that he wasn't holding back one bit. But Iruka told Naruto he did the right thing. He's protecting the village, and that was Naruto's first step to being Hokage, protecting the village for what's right. Which erased all the guilt of killing Mizuki out of Naruto's mind. Oh, I did the right thing. I'm proud of myself. So the next day, Naruto meets Kakashi. It does take a long time as usual, but in class what Naruto's doing is basically just practicing with his clones. Kind of makes a shadow clone, then that shadow clone and him just spar. Eventually with this, Kakashi arrives, the likes and dislikes stay the same. But Sasuke's, well, his hobby, not hobby, but his goal more or less consists of, like, his goal is to beat Naruto, then his dream is to kill a certain someone. See, Sasuke wants to beat Naruto because, well, Naruto seems to be more durable, physically stronger, faster, not smarter, but his stats are above everyone else, even above some Jonin. So Naruto seems to be different than everyone else, which does intrigue Sasuke. So now basically just go to Naruto, who would just, like, the next day, the bell test. Still, he's not the one that will rush in. Like, he doesn't rush in first because he trains a bit and does know that's pretty stupid. But instead, he makes around, let's say, 15 clones. And these 15 clones attack Kakashi. Now, these clones are a lot faster and stronger than Ken and Naruto, and they have better reflexes. So, they're actually able to block a few strikes or punch at Kakashi, and he has to block, but doesn't have the overwhelming force behind each clone. With this, Kakashi actually does have to reveal his Sharingan because with this much speed, overwhelming force coming at him, this is overwhelming. He eventually dodges a few of these with his Sharingan and kills a few of them as well. Until he gets to the actual Naruto, or he assumes is the actual Naruto. But he puts his kunai at his neck, and then it just poofs into a log. This is one of the only jutsu in the academy that Naruto genuinely got down was transformation. That's really it. Not transformation, I mean substitution. He learned it from a clone. Like, he subconsciously had learned the secret of the shadow clone, but doesn't know how he learned it. So, what Naruto does instead is, well, Kakashi can't find the real Naruto, then suddenly a tongue flies out of the water and hits Kakashi right in the face. It was so random and fast, it hit Kakashi right in the face even while he had a Sharingan activated. While Kakashi being dazed and stumbling, he had yelled for Sasuke and Sakura to go to get him. Sasuke immediately dashed and grabbed one of the bells, but Sakura was able to grab her. Kakashi had grabbed her hand. But then he saw a giant fireball heading right at him, and Sakura was gone. Naruto basically just dashed and grabbed her. But then as Kakashi dodged fireball, Sakura's thrown right at him, and he's able to grab the bell. As Kakashi grabs her, the bell's pulled right off his waist, and he realizes that they win. Immediately, they pass. Well, first off, Sakura says, Sakura would say, Naruto, you're a big idiot. Why'd you help me get the bell? But I guess it suits you like academy since you're such an idiot. Sasuke would say, Sakura, he's more useful than you could ever hope to be in 100 years. The only reason you passed is because he wanted to be generous. You should be going like the academy. You don't even know simple ninjutsu. But Kakashi breaks up bickering, saying, Nope. Yes, you guys all pass. He explains the whole thing was teamwork, and Naruto, well, he made openings for them. And Sasuke was smart enough to take an opening despite not wanting to listen to Naruto. And the only reason he listened to Naruto because it was an actual good opening. Then Sakura should be thankful because imagine they're on a mission and Naruto gives his life to basically imagine that Naruto would give his life for the mission. So Sakura didn't do a single thing. And the only reason she's able to complete the mission is because Naruto gave his life. So if he didn't, this would lead to her and Naruto dying. So Naruto's one death is to make sure Sakura doesn't die, which would she still blame Naruto for? Would she call him an idiot, or would she just say he is a good shinobi and a powerful one? Or basically a good shinobi? Sakura has to admit that was kind of a good point. Imagine this was a real mission. He would have just saved the whole mission in that one instance. He apologizes to Naruto, they eat their food, and Kakashi reveals to his team not reveals to his team, but reveals to the other senseis that the reason that his team passed is because Naruto helped them all. Which kind of becomes shocks huge and he doesn't really show anything in any form of being a prodigy or anything. How do you help? And Kakashi explains that Naruto is able to use Shadow Clone Jutsu to confuse him and overwhelm him briefly. But Naruto's one jutsu, like I said before, he masters it to beyond mastery. So it was just so fast that Kakashi couldn't keep up with it, and he's hit in the face, dazing him, really, basically just stunning him and dazing him. Then suddenly Sasuke is able to grab the bells, Sakura barely misses. If she misses, Sasuke will use a fireball jutsu, and then Sakura's thrown right at him, and he got the bell. She got the bell. So, just very brief teamwork that was unintentional. Well, by everyone else's standards, it was intentional for Naruto. He was kind of just doing whatever worked for him. So, yeah. My bad about that. So, basically just go to, Naruto, on their first mission. So, Naruto, he's advanced in every single thing, like reflexes, strength, not intelligence, but strength, reflexes, speed. His hearing's okay. His hearing's better than average, but not like an Inuzuka or anything. With this, he's actually able to complete missions and brief it faster, and plus he's actually a really good sensory ninja. So with this, he's actually, well, his sensory ninjutsu just adapted by just pure nature. So with this, well, Kakashi does actually want to teach Naruto how to use Sage Mode. So not teach him, but he wants Naruto to master it, because it does realize that Naruto spends a lot of time controlling his chakra, so his face seems normal and doesn't scare people. So with this, Kakashi would decide to teach Naruto onto like perfect chakra control, and due to Kakashi teaching Naruto this, Sasuke and Sakura learn it by default as well. So they learn tree walking, and they move on to water walking like, around a day before the Land of Waves would start. But with this, Kazuna would see his team, and mainly just ask why there's kids and why Naruto's eyes are freaky. But Houston says it doesn't matter, this is one of our stronger getting teams. And plus, this is like the rank division that Kazuna paid for. Well, this would be an appropriate team. And also, wishes he had more money because he basically paid for a team of kids. So, yeah. But Houston does say that he got one of the strongest Jonin as the leader. So Kazuna feels a bit better. But basically, just go to them walking through the mission. First, we end up seeing, not we, but Naruto ends up seeing the puddle. The team does as well, and Naruto doesn't pay any mind until his natural, or I guess his, I'd probably say is like genetic or his inherited sensory ninjutsu that's insane. Is able to pick up the Demon Brother's chakra signature. Naruto would tell everyone to jump back. And from his face on the ground full force, shattering it, and Demon Brothers just flying in the air. Immediately, Sasuke will look at their chains and throw shuriken right into the chains. And Sakura will actually try to do something useful. She ended up throwing explosive kunai between them. One of them, if the brothers can evade, their chains plus kunai, their chains that have shuriken in them. Well, because Sasuke shuriken. Their chains accidentally get entangled, and the exploding kunai blows up. They start flying into trees and knocked unconscious. So with this team has like a group high five, and then we'd basically have Kakashi interrogating them. They get all the information they want. So they actually have Naruto Naruto insists that he's ahead of them all, so he can sense out everything, while they follow behind him. So around halfway through their walk, around a few minutes early before they actually encounter Zabuza, Naruto will sense Haku. With Haku's chakra signature, Kakashi actually runs off, and asks Naruto if he can guard his team, and that he'll run off after Haku, because Naruto does say his chakra feels very powerful. But he does also want Kakashi but the chakra a bit ahead of that has a lot of bloodlust in it. So what Naruto basically does is just kind of sit with his team, and makes a ton of clones, like 8 of them. Well, not 8, but I'd say probably 80 clones all around. But they're kind of all around the forest using sensory ninjutsu to just make sure his team doesn't die. Yeah. So we basically have Kakashi doesn't end up fighting Haku and doesn't kill him because Haku put up a good fight. But Haku is actually not able to keep up with Kakashi's speed using Chidori, and Kakashi is actually able to put a severe injury on Haku, and Haku has to escape because he's dying. So Haku escapes to Zabuza. Zabuza hears that Kakashi attacked. As he goes to where Haku says he was attacked, he only sees footprints leading away. As he finds the group that Kakashi's talking to, Zabuza would attack. But Kakashi turns around and smirking, saying, Alright, Naruto, your turn. Suddenly, tons of tongues shot at Zabuza, and one of them wrapped around his arm so he can't swing his blade. The other ones wrap around Zabuza's body, and basically being squeezing him to death. Haku tries to cut these tongues, but when he does these poof, Zabuza already passed out due to lack of air. Then Sasuke tried to get Zabuza away. Sasuke appears in front of him using Fireball Jutsu, and basically just burns Haku. Haku's burned. Well, Sasuke can just, I guess, burn the wound shut temporarily. Now, Sasuke does realize Haku was fast enough to dodge, but still the wound is cauterized shut. I don't know if that's the right word, but still. So cauterized shut. And this she does save Haku's life a bit. And due to Zabuza not being dead, just unconscious, and with Haku, Naruto suggests they take them as prisoners. They agree, and they end up tying up Zabuza and Haku and dragging them away to Land of Waves. Well, there, Kakashi interrogates them, and Naruto suddenly befriends Haku, just randomly. And Naruto explains, like, to Haku that first Haku just he wants to protect Zabuza, and Naruto says he wants to protect his team. He wants to make sure that Sasuke can fulfill his dream of killing a certain someone, and wants to make sure Sakura can become a strong kunoichi. And her goal swiftly changed when Sasuke called her useless. So, he wants Sakura to just find use in herself, and wants Sasuke to fulfill his dream, regardless of who it is he wants to kill. Well, unless it's him, but he may help otherwise. Haku does actually tell Naruto that having to protect someone makes him stronger, and protecting his team is a good goal. So with this, eventually Haku does succumb to his wounds because it got infected, and Zabuza just feels really bad about this, but due to Naruto being Haku's friend, he does not hate the Hidden Leaf team. He actually just hates Gato for sending them at a team that had a S-rank shinobi. So more or less blames Gato for this. Because he doesn't know that basically Tsunade paid for his team. This team happened to have Kakashi. He more or less thought that Tsunade paid a lot of money for his team, and that Gato didn't really care. So when Gato's men arrive, well, Zabuza being enraged at Gato, well, it's kind of misdirected, but properly directed at the same time. Zabuza kills them all, but he's not tired or injured whatsoever. He's just been tied up, been fed, been given water. He's perfectly fine. At best, he has a few bruises, and that's at most. This episode kills them all with a few kunai sticking out of his arms, or one small one in his back. That's really it. Nothing life-threatening. Well, I guess everything can be a little life-threatening if it gets infected and lasts too long as an infection. So yeah. Let me pause real quick. So Zabuza eventually kills all of Gato's men and Gato himself. Zabuza goes back to the base with Naruto with him, just so Zabuza doesn't take all the money and leave, and takes half the money for himself. And then the hidden leaf just gives the rest of the money to Land of Waves so they can prosper. On the one condition that the Land of Waves gives at least 15% of their profits to the hidden leaf each time they trade with a lot of money. Not a lot, just trade with money. So yeah. So with this, we basically just go to them back, heading back to the Hidden Leaf. Naruto's still friends with Konohamaru, but Konohamaru is actually making a joke at Naruto's kind of natural frog-like face. He calls Naruto Frog Sensei, or Toad Sensei. And Naruto basically just trains Konohamaru taijutsu, that's really it. But Konohamaru encounters Kankuro. Kankuro still being a dick, but this time when Kankuro was to punch Konohamaru, suddenly Kankuro's fist is grabbed by Naruto before the punch lands, and Kankuro tries to pull his fist away, but Kankuro just falls to his knees, screaming in pain, as Naruto begins crushing his hand. It's a would question why Kankuro's screaming in pain, and he yells, "He's breaking my hand." So I would look at Naruto's hand, and immediately can tell, just from her little bits of battle, Naruto's an opponent that physically they've never encountered. Naruto's physical strength is surpassing limits they never knew were possible. This is our limit. Well, Naruto's actual limit is surpassing theirs by, his limit is going to be a lot later. So with this, Naruto would basically just end up almost breaking Kankuro's hand, but Kankuro just drops Konohamaru, apologizing, and Naruto reveals that Konohamaru is the grandson of Hiruzen. And Tamaru says Kankuro deserved to have his arm broke, not just one or two fingers. This is what happened. Naruto breaking one or two of his fingers. Gaara questioned Naruto who he is, and Naruto would say Naruto Uzumaki. But Naruto able to sense Gaara's chakra, and say, interesting. Gaara's a little confused when Naruto didn't point out that Gaara has a tailed beast. Gaara asks how Naruto knows, and he says that he's the best sensory ninja in Konoha, probably. So he can sense a secondary chakra to Gaara's that's kind of bonding with Gaara's own chakra. But then Naruto does do something that's very unexpected. Suddenly, red chakra shoots out of his body, saying, "Yeah, your chakra's pretty cool, but mine's a bit cooler." As Naruto would say, he's Naruto Uzumaki, the nine-tailed Jinchuriki. Gaara would be in shock that someone possesses a stronger tailed beast than him. He thought he was the only Jinchuriki out there. But no. So it was a very big shock to them all. With this, not a shock to Konohamaru. Naruto's very open with Konohamaru. Konohamaru is one of his only genuine friends. like Shikamaru and Choji are his friends too, but their parents are a little more, well, not their parents, just mainly their mothers and Choza for both of Choji's parents and one of Shikamaru's parents are more like holding down on not wanting him near Naruto, while Shikaku just tells Shikamaru, hang out with who you want to, just don't be around a bad influence. Well, Naruto's actually a pretty decent influence on them. So yeah, Choji sneakily hangs out with Naruto. Shikamaru just tries to just basically get his dad's favor to hang out with Naruto. Oh, he doesn't really care who Konohamaru hangs out with, as long as they're good people. So Konohamaru actually hangs out with Naruto a lot, and Konohamaru is one of Naruto's closest friends. So Konohamaru, well, he knows about the Nine Tails. Sasuke appears, they'll still kind of just intimidates Gaara somewhat. But Sasuke got some different kind of training during the Land Waves. Yeah, Sharingan training. So Sasuke is already able to use his Sharingan at one Tomoe and two Tomoe in the other eye, but use it a lot better than he did in canon. But still, they have Rock Lee. This time, Rock Lee attacks Naruto. As reportedly in the academy, Naruto didn't have the highest grade in technique, but in raw power, like raw sheer strength, speed, reflexing, like just reflexes, speed, strength, durability, no one could match him. So Rock Lee ended up going for a punch at Naruto first, but then he realized that Naruto wasn't phased by his punch, and realized that Naruto's hand was holding Rock Lee back. Naruto is a good sensory ninja. He's able to sense Lee's chakra as he's walking in, and sense Lee's chakra charging right towards the door, or his chakra, what chakra he had was kind of targeted right towards the door, like was directing towards the door. So Naruto was kind of on guard the whole time, so when Rock Lee began attacking, Naruto was really able to grab Rock Lee's fist. And Rock Lee tries to pull his arm away. Well, he now feels the strength of Naruto Uzumaki. Rock Lee even using all the strength that he can in that arm, and Neji and Tenten see this. Rock Lee is not able to outmuscle Naruto, and Lee's able to outmuscle Neji. So with this, Neji's in sheer awe and would use his like Byakugan, but just feels that Naruto's chakra, there's kind of like 3 types of it. You can't identify the third type, but one kind of it's red, the other kind is normal. This is just confusing him all around, but eventually Naruto does end up letting Lee go, and Lee does actually want to have a regular fight with Naruto. Well, Naruto gets like a basic stance, saying he'll try to do his best, as he's only a basic genin in terms of Taijutsu. While Rock Lee would just say, just you go all out. Which Naruto just says Lee will actually regret those words. So Lee will dash towards Naruto, and Naruto would listen to Lee. He went all out, dashing at Lee using a bit of just Kurama's chakra, and Lee's palm strike in the chest, being sent flying right in Neji's arms. And Neji realizes Lee's unconscious. And Naruto would say, you should make sure his ribs aren't broken. My guy would say, no, his ribs aren't broken, I can tell. My guy would chuckle at Naruto and look at Lee, saying, that was your fault. Because Lee had basically just told Naruto to go all out, and Naruto did as Lee asked. And that resulted in Lee being knocked out. But no one knew besides Neji about the Nine Tails chakra being in use in that one moment. We just noticed the Nine Tails just felt that chakra pushing Naruto's body. So with this, basically just go to Naruto, who would probably, a regular test, like the whole thing. Naruto still kind of gets the same thing, can't answer a single question because he's dumb. But it's kind of able to use sensory ninjutsu to basically feel out the auras and outline people's body. And actually able to somewhat copy some answers for different questions, but not good. So Naruto, if it was a test, he'd get like a quarter of the points, but then have those points taken away because it was obviously copied someone. But no one noticed it until the whole thing was over and it was already said everyone in there passes. So Naruto would still get 0 points, but that's only after he would leave. Because when he turned in his test, he got at least a quarter of the points. So yeah, now for the whole Chunin exam, not Chunin, the Force of Death thing. Now with that, Naruto's very suspect of Orochimaru and his quote-unquote team. Because he does feel like he's able to tell that the body Orochimaru is using, or at least some of it, is not normal. Anko would throw kunai at Naruto when he catches it, and he throws it back at her at double the speed, but she's barely able to dodge it. But when everyone runs in, Naruto actually tells his team to like basically go in and wait for him. He needs to talk to Anko. Naoko thinks about the kunai thing, but no, talks about the team saying them. He points out about like the body and how it's kind of weird. The chakra, like there's outside chakra, but it's kind of like lingering, doesn't go with the body. It feels out of tune. Now, Anko just began putting together like the whole thing where like, well, he did use a jutsu, not jutsu, but something that seemed all too familiar with me. Immediately in a split second, she able together that's Orochimaru or a possibility of one of his workers. But she tells Naruto to find every single Hidden Leaf team, or at least every single team that he can, and pull them out of there, saying that there's a strong evil shinobi in there. Naruto nodded and just grabbed Sasuke and Sakura and throw them right out of the forest of death, and chasing them down every single Hidden Leaf team he could find. Eventually he comes across Rock Lee, Neji, and Tenten, and Neji will question why Naruto's there, but he says that a certain person in the forest that they need to avoid, and basically this is like a demand from the project, they need to get out of the forest. But Neji and Tenten think Naruto's lying, just so Naruto would have less competition. And then immediately Neji's like, Lee, come on, let's go. But Lee looks at Naruto saying if you put it on your pride as a fighter or as a taijutsu user, then I will leave. Naruto's bowing, putting his head on the ground, even saying with all my pride, please leave the forest. Lee does just that, as his team looks at Lee saying, Neji looks at Lee saying, you're weak. But Naruto's grabbing Neji, and will throw him, until Tenten will throw kunai at Naruto, but he catches it. He throws Neji down next to Tenten, saying he'll fight them both if it need be. He'll beat Tenten into them. Now Rock Lee is kind of curious to how Neji and Naruto's fight would go, so Neji dashes Naruto. But Naruto happens to be too fast for Neji, and Neji quickly punched right in the face, being knocked out immediately. And he got her by the neck and chokes her out, and she's unconscious. He throws Tenten to Rock Lee, and he catches her as she runs out the forest, and Neji's quickly just chucked right out of the forest of death. Now, with Hinata, they're escaping, but a certain, a certain attack is about to hit Hinata, and Naruto ends up getting away. So it's like basically Team Dosu, Team Kabuto, and Team Orochimaru have basically heard that the Hidden Leaf teams are evacuating for some reason, and Orochimaru basically gave the orders for his teams to attack anyone they see leaving the forest. So Naruto was the first one found, and Zaku would basically use his full power attack against Naruto. Then they think they killed Naruto and Hinata, and all of Team 8. But Team 8 is kind of cowering as they see Naruto in front of them, with his arms spread wide out so they don't get hurt. So with this, he kind of stretches, saying, that didn't hurt as much as I thought it would. Zaku's jaw is just dropped. Naruto just appears right in front of Zaku, grabbing his arms, and then, just bends. Suddenly, Zaku's arm basically just snapped clean in half, and he's headbutted in the ground unconsciously. Zaku just headbutted, and Zaku gets knocked out by that. Ken tries to throw Senbon at Naruto, but basically just grabs it and slashes her eyes with it, basically blinding her permanently, then stabbing her right in the neck with it, as they try to kill him first. He doesn't care. Naruto's personality is a bit more like a shinobi, because all he does is really train. So he has more of a shinobi mindset than his canonical Naruto mindset. So he's able to kill Ken, doesn't like it, but they attacked him first. Then with Dosu still did get in Naruto's ears, and still started making his ears bleed. We go to Rock Lee. Rock Lee didn't see Naruto leave, only saw like Hinata and Neji, but Hinata, Kiba, and Shino walk out, and Hinata actually yells for Rock Lee, like, please go back and help Naruto. And immediately, Naruto would just have his ears basically being just bleeding, because he can't get near Dosu. Even if his ears are healing, Dosu just increases the power, making Naruto basically go deaf until it's healed again, but then go deaf again. Now Dosu would immediately make an announcement to like Kabuto and Orochimaru he caught someone. So with this, Orochimaru and Kabuto close on the location, hoping it's someone important, hoping it's Sasuke or something. But Orochimaru sees it's Kabuto, but sees it's Naruto and finds it's actually very important. Now immediately Orochimaru does actually want to bite Naruto in the neck, and suddenly everyone hear a leaf hurricane, and suddenly Dosu's kicked in the neck, and his neck is shattered. He's killed. Pause real quick. So Rock Lee kind of killed Dosu, and Rock Lee was like not even using like a gate, just simply appeared and kicked Dosu right in the neck. Rock Lee landed. Naruto had thanked Rock Lee as he had said that Dosu made him deaf like over 5 times in the few minutes that Rock Lee was coming here. And Sasuke basically heard from Hinata what just happened, And as Itachi goes in, immediately Neji puts his hand in front of Sasuke, saying, Rock Lee and Naruto are both above Sasuke's league. Sasuke should not go in there. And this one, Anko actually mentioned that Orochimaru is assigning, and that Orochimaru is probably looking for Sasuke specifically, so they're going to guard him. But Sasuke just mentioned that Naruto's whole thing with the power he has that shouldn't be in the hands of a genin. Orochimaru may want his body as well. So now Anko does keep in mind that Naruto's basically a born sage. So with this, she actually contacts someone else, being Kakashi. And when Kakashi happened with Iruka, Kakashi basically got told what happened. So Kakashi and Iruka are basically on their way currently. When they hear what happened, Kakashi's running through the forest, and is actually happy to see that Sasuke is safe, so now he needs to find other students that's safe. So with this, you basically just have Rock Lee and Naruto fighting off lots of people. So immediately, Yoroi tries to absorb Naruto's chakra, but Orochimaru's like, no, Yoroi, you idiot. But suddenly Yoroi would turn to stone. And Naruto punches Yoroi to pieces, killing him. Well, if Yoroi turned to stone, that's already dead, then Naruto killed him extra. But then with Sugichi, pretty sure that's his name, he can stretch his arms. With him, what Naruto really did is I guess it's just Naruto kind of just blitz and punch him right in the face, full force, and kill him. And Naruto basically blitzed him, punched him in the face, and flying, but didn't kill him. Naruto and Kabuto began fighting, and Naruto's feeling his body with Nine-Tails chakra, because he's worried that they may have abilities like Dosu. So his body kind of being killed as Kabuto destroys it. Eventually, Kabuto blocks one of Naruto's punches, and Kabuto sends sliding back. But as soon as Kabuto sends sliding back, he feels something sharp in his back. As he feels it, he turns saying Iruka, and Iruka basically stabbed Kabuto, I guess would be right in his heart with the kunai. Kabuto spits out blood and falls over unconscious. Well, not unconscious, he falls over dead. Iruka would just say, attacking a genin at your level. Disgraceful. Iruka looked at Naruto as Naruto's panting a bit. Kabuto is a tough challenge. And plus, Kabuto ended up kicking the hell out of Naruto. Kabuto supposedly on Kakashi's level. Kabuto's isn't, and I guess the Naruto series, not Shippuden, Kabuto is supposedly on the same level as Kakashi. So Naruto fighting a Kakashi level opponent, yes, it could work, because Naruto's clones were one Kakashi briefly, even Sharingan Kakashi. But still, being on Kakashi level, we're not stated if it's Sharingan Kakashi or no Sharingan Kakashi. So either way, it's going to be a big threat for Naruto. So Kabuto got a few good licks on Naruto, and Naruto's kind of tired now. We see Rock Lee, who beat all of Orochimaru's team, while what's left is Orochimaru himself. As Rock Lee ends up getting hit by Orochimaru, and Orochimaru would go to bite Naruto, well, everyone would hear the sound of Chidori, and Chidori ends up but cuts Orochimaru in half. Then Orochimaru immediately would deactivate his jutsu, trying to actually just regurgitate another body. And he does just that, but regurgitated body then spits out snakes. They jump on everyone and immediately trying to bite it down on them. But as they do, well, they either get turned to stone by Naruto, or they can't bite through Naruto's skin. With this, Orochimaru escapes with his whole team being dead. Well, Saku's not dead, but Naruto basically cracked his head open, so he's on the way to death. Naruto ended up killing Kin in a pretty brutal way, but not brutal way, basically blinding her and stabbing her in the neck with his senbon. And then we'd have Rock Lee, who accidentally didn't kill Dosu, but he didn't really care. Dosu's a bad guy. Kakashi would escort Naruto out of there, and eventually they escort every single genin out of there, because not Rock Lee, but Rock Lee is escorted out of there, but the main escorted out of there because there's a wild Orochimaru in the forest. So everyone's escorted out of there. The corpses are left behind. But when Gaara's team leaves, they see Naruto covered in a bit of bruises and wonder who he fought. We also see Rock Lee covered in bruises, and they kind of saw the whole encounter with Rock Lee and Naruto. Rock Lee and Naruto were both individually really strong, so they wonder what did that to the two of them, or was it each other? But Naruto would thank Kakashi for saving him and Rock Lee, and my guy and Rock Lee both thank Kakashi. And then my guy thanked Naruto for escorting students out of the forest to death. So even if Naruto didn't help them, if Orochimaru didn't find Sasuke, he may have taken Neji or Hinata instead. So my guy thanked Naruto for that, and due to Hinata hearing this, she thanks Naruto for getting her out of there. Because if Orochimaru didn't find Sasuke or Neji, he probably could have taken her Byakugan. So yeah. Naruto's like, no problem. Is the Chunin Exams are kind of put on hold, and Orochimaru actually has to retreat. So with this, well, they don't want to do the Chunin Exams in the Hidden Leaf anymore because Orochimaru's there, so they're postponed and put in the Hidden Sand, which pushes it back every single arc. Well, not every single. It kind of pushes back a little bit of most Naruto arcs. So it's going to lead to Chunin Exams being held in the Hidden Sand now, and due to the Hidden Sand being the Hidden Sand, just the terrain, it kind of makes it going on crush impossible. So yeah. So I don't know. I guess that would be that part, but I have to think of this. Impossible so I can get my thoughts in order. So the Hidden Leaf teams had to insane all the teams do if they're not dead. But now Gaara basically has a home field advantage. And Naruto does know this, but during the time they prep, Kakashi does actually encourage Naruto to get some training in. But Kakashi needs to focus on, well, Sasuke. Sasuke's doing Sharingan training. So Naruto needs someone to train with. And it just happens that Jiraiya had heard about Orochimaru, so it was in the Hidden Leaf. So Naruto encouraged Jiraiya, and Jiraiya had realized this was Naruto because the sage eyes. Well, first the eyes kind of looked weird, but they looked toad-like, and then just the nature energy he's exuding kind of, just called it out more. Jiraiya would mention Naruto who he is, and he says he's basically like the Toad Sage of Mount Miyoboku, or the Toad Sage Sasanin Jiraiya. So Jiraiya explains to Naruto what his abilities is, and Naruto's like, oh, so you're Toad Sage of Mount Miyoboku, so your ability should be the same as mine. Jiraiya explains that due to him being relatively like, well, not average, but he doesn't have enough chakra or not enough, mastery over it to use it normally, but Naruto somehow is able to do it perfectly. So Jiraiya actually will help Naruto by mastering sage abilities. So Naruto will learn actually how to use fire and water release, as those are like those are his natures by birth now. His fire release actually being more like strong because the Nine Tails chakra and the Nine Tails, I guess like the anime, like the chakra nature they give in the anime for Kurama is the fire and wind. So Naruto's fire release is deadly, like more deadly than any Uchiha. So Naruto's able to like fireball jutsu, everything, like all that. So Naruto actually does end up going to Mount Miyoboku, meets Mom, Pa, Toad. And Naruto actually kind of naturally exuding sage energy and nature energy, was actually able to get on his shoulders and teach him how to use some sage abilities. He goes through the training, and it turns out, well, just because of his just natural body, he's gone through some of this training himself, just not as risky. So we go to this, where we go past this a bit, and eventually fast forward 2 weeks, and now it's time for the Chunin Exams again. And Naruto's already able to do summoning on like the first try. He's like, oh, first summon Tadpole. Oh, second try, summoned a toad, but it's not big. Third try, summoned Bunta. So, yeah. So Naruto quickly got summoning down, and actually made a contract with Fukasaku. Fukasaku's like, well, you're my student, and Jiraiya boy. Well, you need to master Sage mode. If your student's ahead of you and he's not even 14 yet, that shows you need some work. So you're banned from using Sage mode until you're able to master it on Mount Miyoboku. The Jiraiya doesn't need Monpa Toad currently because he's not going to be using Sage mode for a while. So Naruto ends up getting Monpa Toad into summonings. So now with this, Naruto would end up heading over to, him, Kakashi, Sakura, and Sasuke are leaving. And Kakashi did put Kurenai in charge of Sakura because, Anko in charge of Sakura, so, yeah. Sakura's actually able to learn a bit of Genjutsu, but more or less, it's more like interrogation jutsu, but it's still a very mentally taxing jutsu on the victim. So it can actually just kind of make the opponent not want to fight, or actually just scare them to the point where they can't fight anymore. So, I guess we'd probably just go to, the first thing would probably be, just who can get the Hidden Sand first. Like, everyone saved the Hidden Leaf, but now it's first going to be the Hidden Sand. The desert is full of traps, full of deadly animals to get through it. When Naruto and his team get through it, like, it's nothing. Naruto's a sensory ninja. Sasuke has a Sharingan. They breeze through it like it's nothing. Due to Naruto and Rock Lee being actually pretty close in this one, plus Hinata, she being close to Naruto now, as he actually, like, he protected her, and Hiyashi would thank Naruto for this, for saving the Hyuga main branch. Well, Naruto and Hinata grew a bit closer because of just the Hyuga trying to thank Naruto in their own way. So, well, not the branch house for thanking Naruto in their own way as well, for saving Neji. So, he grew closer to Hinata and Neji individually. So, yeah. With this, we'll actually end up helping every single Hidden Leaf team just kind of through, just all around. But, yeah. Now with this, they get to the Hidden Sand, and they get to spend the night there. So, we get dinner and everything. Choji just kind of gets upset, but I'd probably just put, like, the preliminaries, like, or just the fights as, like, the second test now, since they don't really have a forced death or anything in the Hidden Sand. So, with this, the fights go on. So I guess the fights would probably be the same lineup. It's just, they couldn't be the same lineup. So 3 teams were taken out, so that they need to be replaced with 3 different teams. So, let me find these teams. So one team is going to be Shira and his team. Like, the Hidden Sand's like, well, some of your teams are going to plus some other teams. How about we replace them with Hidden Sand teams? So Shira's team is going to be one of the replacements. So Shira's team, Fu's team, and that one random monk that wanted to steal Gaara away. Those teams are the ones taking the place of Orochimaru, Kabuto, and Dosu. Both those teams. The Team Dosu, Team Orochimaru, Team Kabuto, those teams are replaced. Because Kabuto's dead, Dosu's dead, Orochimaru had to escape. And you guys are still shocked that Iruka killed Kabuto. Well, Iruka got like an assist or stolen kill, so to say. But I'm back to this. So, Fu is actually able to sense Naruto's Jinchuriki, and Naruto able to sense that she's one as well, so they get along pretty well. The monk eventually, like, in the fights, I guess Sasuke's fight would probably be, I'm going to put Sasuke against Fu, and I guess Sasuke puts up a good fight, but Fu's just till the chakra overwhelms him, and he ends up losing. So, yeah, so he lost. And then we'd have Kankuro versus Shira. And I actually think that Shira would win. So, Shira wins. And then, with that, I'd probably say that Choji would need to fight someone else, so I'd put Choji against the monk, because Dosu's dead. And it's the monk, well, Choji ends up losing. So, yeah. Well, no, Naruto versus Kiba, she does think Naruto would be a pretty good opponent, as he doesn't think of Naruto as someone inferior, thinks of Naruto as someone that he has to avoid. Because, well, Naruto's Taijutsu excelling pretty well, because now, in just 2 weeks, he got trained by a Sannin. So, yeah. So Naruto ends up fighting, so he fights Kiba, and Kiba tries to evade Naruto at all times, even going all out from the beginning. But when Kiba and Akamaru do, like, the Fang over Fang Jutsu, Naruto's sheer speed and actually really good sensory ninjutsu and really good sight, he dashes past them, grabbing them both by the collars of the collars of their shirt. With this, he grabbed them both, and, well, he actually threatens to kill them both if they don't submit. Akamaru just barks, reverting back to normal form, and Kiba says he submits. So Kiba's put down, Akamaru's put down, and given a treat, and they end up losing. So yeah. With this, actually takes Sasuke out of the final part of the Chunin exams, so this actually leads to Fu versus Gaara. But they get 1 month for a break. As 1 month for a break, Naruto would go to Mount Miboku with Rock Lee. He goes to Mount Miboku with Jiraiya. And when he gets there, Jiraiya begins mastering Sage Mode, and Naruto begins learning different Sage Jutsu. And due to Naruto showing an affinity for Taijutsu mainly, he actually ends up learning for Akumite and a lot more techniques. So, yeah. So, final of the fights. Well, Naruto still has to fight Neji. So, the fight versus Neji should just see Naruto as a valuable opponent, and kind of not equal. He still thinks he's superior to Naruto, but does admit that Naruto's insanely strong regardless. So, basically, when the fight starts, Naruto dashes Neji, and Neji will dodge Naruto's first punch. But Naruto would basically say that Neji should have taken the punch head on, which Neji's a little confused by, until Neji feels something hit him in the face, and it knocks him out. Everyone's shocked when Neji's unconscious, and well, he can't really disqualify Naruto for using Sage abilities because these are kind of just genetic to him. Like, if you learn Sage abilities, those are basically just average techniques to him. And using basic ninjutsu would be a little too advanced for someone in this category. If you use Fireball Jutsu, Fireball's going to be double the normal size of a Fireball. So, either way, Naruto's going to be using Sage abilities, so he can't be disqualified. So Neji ends up taking this loss, but still, he's put as a candidate for Chunin due to Naruto's abilities. They'd be disqualified, but no, due to Naruto's circumstances, well, they can't disqualify Naruto, but they can give Neji a slight bit of an edge. So we go through the exams. They go the exact same way. It's just different opponents for people. It's like with Tsunade versus Shikamaru, she has a bit of a home field advantage as well. And Shikamaru knows this. So, well, as the fight starts, he says he submits. Doesn't even try, just submits. And Asuma would ask why, and here's overhears this. Don't fight an opponent with a home field advantage. Don't fight a strong opponent with a home field advantage. This is simply it. And usually to admit that's pretty tactical thinking. And if there's an actual mission, Shikamaru couldn't have done that. But due to circumstances and situation, Shikamaru could make the smart choice. So here's some kind of debates of what Shikamaru would have done in a real battle, and says that Shikamaru would be a really good team leader. Well, Shikamaru is a candidate for Chunin. So yeah, like that random monk versus like Shino or something. So Shino versus random monk. I'd probably say that Shino may win due to the monk. We're trying to use his guitar abilities, and Shino can just quite literally just send bugs into his guitar, and then the bugs can spread out and get him. So Shino wins, and Gaara versus Fu. Well, this fight's a lot more of a one-sided fight. Fu can fly, and Gaara can't keep up with the flying bug lady. So Gaara eventually is getting the shit beat out of him until eventually he goes berserk. But when he goes berserk, well, there's no genjutsu, and probably just Rasa has to suppress Gaara because the whole coup's taken down. But Naruto says he'll suppress Gaara himself. Immediately, this surprises Hiruzen, when suddenly Naruto would grow 3 tails with chakra, and well, suddenly Shukaku's upper half would disappear. They see Naruto basically punch Shukaku head on, and Naruto's sheer power will basically blew upper half of Shukaku away. And Naruto's 3 tails is overwhelming the 1 tails. Now, this Shukaku can't keep up with Naruto's Sage abilities, plus his 9 tails power, so, well, it's not his 9 tails currently, it's at 3 tails power. But still beating up Gaara and Shukaku. This Shukaku eventually submits like he really just says he submits to Naruto and just reverts Gaara back to his base form. But Naruto encourages Gaara, and Gaara talks about what happened, and there he's able to still form Gaara as his friend. Jiraiya is watching this, so eventually when Gaara is kind of put in the infirmary, Jiraiya hands it a seal so Gaara can live life as a normal human. Yes, he will still be ridiculed as, well, a Jinchuriki, but still he'll be safe. Well, somebody can be making people feel safer. So yeah. This is all I can do. Yeah, I don't know now. So with this, I guess we probably just end the exams. The monk still does like want to seal away Fu and Naruto and Gaara, but the monk saw a 13-year-old beat up a tailed beast, and he's not gonna try a thing. Then saw another 13-year-old beat up a Jinchuriki who can be considered a perfect one. He's not gonna try a thing, but will try a thing on Gaara, as he thinks Gaara's the weaker one. No, Gaara's the stronger one. It's just, well, no, he'd be a stronger one against everyone else. Because Naruto is more adept with his chakra, plus the Naruto's Jinchuriki. Because Fu and Naruto possess stronger tailed beasts, and that was really it. Their tailed beasts were just stronger, and they got a lot more powerful chakra. So with this, we basically just have Naruto who would just look at the monk who tries to steal away Gaara or take his tailed beast out. But immediately, well, Naruto basically used like Frog Kumite. And the monk thought Naruto just missed the punch. Till he remembered what happened to Neji. Before the monk knows what happened, he's punched right in the cheek and knocked out. Gaara would thank Naruto, and the monk is arrested. Fu's team leaves. And there's really no Akatsuki to be watching this currently, besides Itachi and Kisame. And, well, their main opponent, not main opponent, but their main eyes were supposed to be on the One Tails, Nine Tails. They leave Fu alone as Fu just heads back to her homeland. So yeah. So I guess this would just end this part. Not in this part, but I guess this was in the Chunin exams. Pause real quick. So this would end the Chunin exams, and Hiruzen does end up with the whole Orochimaru incident. He does feel incompetent as a Hokage, as he let this slide beneath his nose. In the village of the 3 shinobi that Orochimaru had killed, blame Hiruzen for this. So, but they kind of give him an ultimatum. Hiruzen basically resigned as Hokage for his incompetence, or they start a war. Yes, Sydney would win, but still it's a war. Shinobi will die in this regardless. So Hiruzen steps down to avoid a war and just to do his own incompetence, or in his own self-put incompetence. So with this, they find a new Hokage. And Jiraiya is busy training constantly with Naruto, so he can't be Hokage, but he will actually just tell Hiruzen he'll find Tsunade. So they're looking for Tsunade, they find her. Well, I guess they find her, but I guess we have to go over the Itachi and Kisame versus Naruto, or versus Jiraiya mainly, but. So I guess when we go to that incident, like the Itachi and Kisame thing with Naruto, there's a knock on the door, Naruto's a little curious because he didn't order anything and Jiraiya wouldn't knock. So Naruto basically senses who's at the door and feels a malicious chakra, but one chakra feels very similar to, Sasuke. And he's done some digging on who Sasuke wants to kill, because, said before, Naruto's very interested in helping his team out. So even if it's with killing someone, he wants to help Sasuke. Find out Itachi mastered the whole clan, and can identify this person as Itachi Uchiha. The scary chakra, being resembling Sasuke's, but being more devilish, so to say. But then he feels someone next to Itachi, and a sword. The sword seems to be more connected to the person wielding it, which would be Kisame, but Naruto doesn't know who Kisame is. But this Naruto is actually able to confirm that this person, this sword chakra, the person's chakra and the sword chakra are linked. So Naruto does kind of feel like if it's a fight, the sword may be able to take his chakra, and he's never worried about that. Like the sword can slash at chakra, not people. So he does think the sword of more or less a chakra related thing, and not a combat related thing, which he's half right. But Itachi would knock again, when suddenly Naruto's tongue shoots the door. Itachi dodges this, but finds out it was a trick. If Itachi's an Uchiha, he will dodge this. So Kisame is the target, not Itachi. So Itachi dodges, Kisame would jump back with Itachi, but Kisame's neck gets wrapped up by the tongue, and he was getting strangled. And suddenly, Mama and Pato would use their own jutsu, shooting Kisame right through the building, and then Naruto would charge at Itachi himself, and Itachi would block one of Naruto's punches, but realized physically, Naruto's a dominating opponent. So Itachi realized that physically fighting Naruto is a losing battle, regardless, so distance is the thing. But then realized that Naruto's in perfect sage mode, which is something Itachi is fearing now, because a perfect sage. So using ninjutsu against Naruto, Naruto's power may match it. So water style, Itachi tries to use that. No. Naruto's superior strength and fire style, not like abilities in general, just Naruto's fire style is a lot more hot and massive, like fireball jutsu, so Itachi can't really beat Naruto with this unless he has one overwhelming jutsu, which would be Amaterasu, but that'd burn down the whole building, probably kill him with Naruto, and unleash Kurama on everyone. So he can't do that without harming the environment. So Itachi can only find a way out of this when Kisame charged right at Naruto, as he jumped back up and jumped right at him. But Samehada, he tried to absorb Naruto's nature energy, and suddenly Kisame's arm turned to stone. Before Kisame knows it, half his body turned to stone, and Naruto would punch it, killing Kisame. So Jiraiya arrives, seeing a dead Kisame, because he sees Samehada. Samehada tried to just basically bind the nature energy with Kisame, and that killed Kisame. So he sees that Naruto picks up Samehada, and Samehada can't pierce Naruto's skin with its Naruto's not a worthy swordsman, but Samehada doesn't bother Naruto at all. So we see attacks Itachi with Samehada, and Samehada is actually able to land a few good hits on Itachi. But Itachi's moving a little bit faster than Naruto, and Naruto's not really Genjutsu proof, so Tsukiyomi proves effective, and Itachi puts Naruto under Genjutsu. Jiraiya is able to try to capture Itachi, but Itachi retreats. And with this, well, Naruto's now in a genjutsu that lasts, for Naruto, it feels like it lasts years. In reality, it lasts around 1 hour. And when the time wakes up, he's just panting, covered in basically cold sweat. And Naruto, like I said before, he'd kill someone for the sake of being a shinobi, but isn't really too fond of it. So now, he basically put in the illusion, like, Itachi does know what kind of person Naruto would be. If, like, he spied on Sasuke, he spied on people before. So he kind of gets a gist of what Naruto is. So now does something that Naruto would hate. It's an image of Kisame being an innocent man, and Naruto mercilessly murdering him for hours on end. He has to witness that. Or for years on end, in Naruto's head. But this kind of messes with Naruto mentally, but Jiraiya talks him out of it, and that does cheer up Naruto a bit. Who we'd go to Naruto, who would just they still fight Tsunade, but Naruto still would be kind of worse for wear mentally. And yes, he doesn't want to be Hokage, but currently his goal is basically mastering Sage Mode. But as Jiraiya and Tsunade talk, Tsunade would mention to Jiraiya, what's up with the kid? He looks messed up. Jiraiya mentions the fight with the Itachi Kisame. Tsunade's like, oh, he got beat up and is upset. He says, well, no, he killed Kisame, but Itachi put him in genjutsu that messed him up. Now, Jiraiya describes what kind of person Naruto is to Tsunade, and what genjutsu Naruto's put through, which Tsunade immediately realizes that this is kind of mentally torturing Naruto. Even if it wasn't real, it's mentally painful. With Tsunade being trying to comfort Naruto, as she does kind of feel some kind of... Yes, she feels what kind of person that Naruto is and kind of bonds with him. And so he's kind of moves him a bit, and he's actually able to recover mentally. And now with this, well, we kind of move on. So, Naruto can't make a bet to master Rasengan in 1 week because he's never done Rasengan training. He's done Sage Mode training. So with this, basically he says that if he can master this quote-unquote Sage Jutsu, he can fight. If he can beat Tsunade with his own abilities with Sage Mode, then Tsunade has to become Hokage. So Tsunade actually does have to take up her own training with Katsuyu to learn learn what Sage Mode is. So they both just been training with Sage Chakra a little bit more. Not Sage Chakra, but Sage Power. Tsunade can't really get the grip on it too fast in this 1 week. So by the time it's Naruto's turn, he basically had mastered Kumite, or kind of just not mastered it, but learned a lot more techniques. So he fights Tsunade, she dodges, and a phantom something will hit her. So this phantom hit will hurt a lot more than the real hit would. So she learns to stop dodging and to just take the hit. But if she takes the hit, well, she's actually able to heal immediately and grab Naruto and throw him around. Eventually, Naruto and Tsunade kind of just get they grab hands and they kind of just trying to outmuscle one another. Eventually, Tsunade begins outmuscling Naruto, but now he begins trying to go all out. His body is slowing up, and now he pushes his body to limits, which is three tails. If he goes after 3, he just will go lose control. With 3 tails, he's barely in control. With this, he's able to outmuscle Tsunade and headbutt her into the ground as hard as he can, knocking her out, and him being the winner. He then goes to go berserk. Jiraiya just slaps the seal on Naruto's head, and he's chilled out. So yeah. And Naruto beat Tsunade. He beat a Sanin, so pretty impressive. Tsunade heads back to the Hidden Leaf, announces herself as the new Hokage, but he usually does tell her why he retired, and she doesn't blame him. So yeah. So the Sasuke Retrieval arc. Well, this still happens as Sasuke learned Chidori. He's actually really good at it at this point. Sharingan training, he's already almost at 320 Sharingan. So Orochimaru promises to get Sasuke a Mangekyo Sharingan. So it's Orochimaru tells Sasuke what it is, and basically tell Sasuke that Naruto fought Itachi and Itachi retreated. So that proves that Naruto is a lot stronger than Sasuke will ever be, but if Sasuke gets this kind of eye, he can beat Itachi. So with this, Sasuke will go with Orochimaru for the hope of a Mangekyo Sharingan. With this, basically, Orochimaru has to call on the help of Danzo, and Danzo's able to get, somehow he gets Sasuke's mother's eyes, Mikoto's eyes. So Orochimaru gets those eyes and plants them in Sasuke, or is going to, and it basically should let Sasuke get the Mangekyo without the death thing. But his sheer guilt and upset that his mother's eyes are in his head now, this should help him awaken Mangekyo, but not an eternal Mangekyo quite yet. Because I don't think his mother had Mangekyo, and everyone that's transferred eyes to get eternal Mangekyo has had a Mangekyo Sharingan already, so I don't think Sasuke will get an eternal Mangekyo just yet. So yeah. But with the Sasuke Retrieval team, well, everyone needs their ninja ranks now. So due to Naruto beating her, Tsunade actually does announce Naruto as a special Jonin, which shocks everyone, even makes Sasuke even more pissed off. With him being a special Jonin, he leads the team. And Naruto has a brief amount of common sense. And Rock Lee, by the way, still was pretty injured by Gaara, but Tsunade heals him. Who the team is, well, first Rock Lee isn't on it, but Naruto wishes Rock Lee could be on it. But Naruto will basically grab Shino and Neji, Shikamaru, Choji. I guess the team will be the same, it's just they add on Shino. So, yeah. Because Shino's pretty overpowered. Like, I even made a community post about this. Basically, someone that said Shino's weak to me, and I made a post saying, like, no, Shino's overpowered as fuck. We used to know how overpowered the Aburame clan is. Try to find any source you can and just find out how strong they are. Like, one of them was able to basically almost make Shisui a walking corpse. You don't understand how powerful that is to make Shisui a walking corpse. You poison Shisui, and that poison cannot be cured. It should be that strong. So, yeah. But back to Naruto. So it's a mission. Yes, Choji will still encounter Jirobo, but when they're trapped in the container, well, Naruto actually makes a plan to kill Jirobo, or at least scare him off. So Naruto ends up putting his hand right on the outside of, not on the outside, but on the dome, and then flowing his nature energy into it. And Jirobo realizes that basically the dome's crumbling under Naruto's nature energy, and Jirobo, not wanting to die, jumps away from the dome, when Choji then punches it down, and Naruto will task Choji at fighting Jirobo. But Naruto will look at Kiba and tell Kiba to give Choji one of the food pills that Orochimaru eats. Choji will do so being a little confused, not Choji, but Kiba will do so being a little confused. Suddenly, Choji will then kind of just get a spark of adrenaline. His skin will get a more red tone, but even fighting Jirobo, having a lot more powerful physical body. So it's very impressive, but still, they need to keep moving. I guess everyone has their same fight. It's just we go to Shikamaru and Neji versus Kidomaru. So basically, Shikamaru, not Shikamaru, but Neji says he'll draw fire and block attacks. All Shino has to do is take down Kidomaru himself. So Shikamaru actually does this pretty easily. Shino does this pretty easily by actually grabbing an additional one kind of bug. This one bug's very poisonous. So he takes this one bug, and Shino would actually be able to stick it right onto Kidomaru. Kidomaru does Shino's behind him and kind of swat at him. Shino jumps in the air, and Kidomaru's like, "What the hell? You're trying to kill me." Now Neji thinks that Shino missed, saying, "All right, well, let's try again." But Neji would say, "No, I don't have another bug like that." So he's like, "What, mission failed then?" Suddenly, Kidomaru's body is bursted in half. A giant bug is outside, just gurgling outside his body. Shino says, "No, that bug just did what it wanted." Shino walking away from the bug as the bug roams free, and Neji didn't get critically injured. But they go after their injured teammates. Shino heads after Choji, and then Neji heads after Shikamaru. Then with Kiba, Kankuro still saves him. But now we go to Naruto versus Kimimaro. In all honesty, that is a one-sided fight. If Kimimaro does a punch, Kumite comes in clutch and knocks out Kimimaro or gets him pretty good in the face. This fight's more like an equal fight, I'd say, actually. Not like a one-sided, but more of an equal fight. So, with this, Rock Lee does come in clutch, and with Kimimaro being significantly weakened, Rock Lee is able to beat Kimimaro pretty easily with this. So as they escape, we go to Naruto, who would encounter Sasuke, and they have to fight. So Naruto is just now getting used to Rasengan training, so his Rasengan isn't as strong, but still, with Sage Energy, it's powerful as hell. So, when Sasuke do clash Rasengan against, full power Sasuke versus Naruto, using Rasengan, I guess I didn't say full power Naruto, but Naruto Rasengan clashes with Sasuke, and due to Sage Energy being a lot more powerful, currently more than Sasuke. Sasuke's arm is pretty badly damaged, but not, blown off. So with Sasuke being sent flying, Naruto will land on the water and be attacking Sasuke. So with Sasuke being fighting, Naruto just the curse mark is a state, taking in nature energy. So currently, Sasuke is more Naruto and Sasuke are more able to hurt each other. But Naruto can mix in his Kurama Chakra, or his Naito Chakra, with his Sage power. With this, he does that, and actually able to beat Sasuke. But as he beats Sasuke, he tries to drag him away, when suddenly, he is hit by something. So he looks at what hit him. He's a kunai right in his stomach, or in his chest, but it's not deep. He's about to pull it out, so then Orochimaru appears, driving kunai right into Naruto's chest and right into his heart. Or almost into his heart. Naruto is able to push Orochimaru off of him, but Naruto falls into the water, coughing up blood. And Orochimaru takes Sasuke's body and leave. And Orochimaru, before he's far enough away with their explosive kunai at Naruto, Naruto can't dodge this, but he's hit by it at point blank range. Kakashi arrives during the explosion, and, well, Shikamaru and Choji and Neji and Kiba and everyone else, yes, they were safe, but where's Naruto? That's about near the end, and he sees Naruto's body pretty badly burned with a kunai in his chest, but his body is healing as we speak. Kakashi pulls a kunai out of Naruto's chest as he heals. Kakashi will pick up Naruto, immediately running to him, leave as fast as possible. And she runs to where everyone's being healed by the Hidden Leaf teams. Well, Choji was evacuated to the Hidden Leaf, but Kakashi arrives with badly burned Naruto on his back and begs for medical treatment on him. So they've been treating him, and he's somewhat okay after a bit. But this will require 2 years of training for Naruto and Jiraiya still, but 1 year full is spent on Mami Boku. Naruto perfectly masters Sage Mode on all of his abilities, and Jiraiya finally obtains Perfect Sage Mode. But we'll end this part here. If you guys enjoyed, like, subscribe, comment for another part. Goodbye.